They're Doug from Tau Stats. And yesterday, in September 2024, a major release was made to the Bittensor blockchain. And that has some very significant changes in the way emission is calculated. And so I thought it was worthwhile to create a video so you can stay up to date on what's going on the chain today. As you know, every single block causes 1 tau to be emitted, and that happens about every 12 seconds. You can see in Tau Stats the emission, and the emission is calculated every 360 blocks, or every single epoch. Before yesterday, your tau was also awarded every 360 blocks. But there's a pretty significant change in that now it's distributed once every 7,200 blocks, or about once a day. So it's still calculated every 360 blocks. The emission will still update every epoch. But if you look in your actual wallet, you won't see an increase every 72 minutes. You'll only see it once about every 24 hours. We still get a lot of questions on how tau is distributed amongst all the participants of the chain. And we made some pretty big changes with the last release. So let's just walk through it. For every tau, it's distributed amongst all of the subnets. And I'm showing X subnets because this number is constantly growing. There are currently 45, but there's capacity for 52. And I expect to see it to grow beyond 52 as the year progresses. Validators on the root subnet set weights, which is converted into a percentage of how much tau each subnet receives. Subnet 0 is a special case. All tau to subnet 0 is recycled. This is the way it works today. When RAW or dTau comes out, this will be a different distribution, but today this is the way it works. All of the subnets then distribute their tau that was awarded to them amongst all the participants of the subnet. I'm just going to show one for simplicity. The subnet owner, miners, and validators receive tau. The subnet owner gets 18%, so 18% times 8%, that's how much tau the subnet owner receives. The miners and the validators split the remaining tau at 41% each, and we can calculate how much tau goes to all of the miners and to all of the validators. All of the miners have an incentive score, and their incentive score adds up to 1. So I think of incentive as sort of a percentage. If we take the total amount of tau and multiply it times the incentive, we get the emission. Now this is the emission for 1 block. As you know, inside Tau Stats, we show this for every 360 blocks. And so that's the difference in these numbers. We do the same for validators, except for the value is a dividend for a validator. Again, it adds up to 1, so we can calculate the emission for all of the validators. But for validators, we need to split up that for the validator and for all of the stakeholders of the validator. And here's one of the big changes that happened this week with the chain upgrade. There's now the concept of a child hotkey. Currently, if you're a validator, you have one hotkey across all of the subnets you validate on. With a child hotkey, you can have a different hotkey on every single subnet for security purposes. We have a video on how child hotkeys work, and so I suggest that you watch that because there are a lot of different permutations of the way the tau from the validators can be split up amongst the child hotkey. In this case, I'm going to say the child hotkey is not taking any take. The child hotkey can take any take from 0 to 18%. In this example, the child hotkey is taking 0 take, just for simplicity. Then there's the parent hotkey, and the parent hotkey is where the validator receives their emission, and they get between 9 and 18%. In this case, we're showing a 9% to the validator. The remaining 91% is sent to the stakeholders. We can look at this validator with 808,000 tau staked to it. We can then weight the amount of stake for each of the stakeholders. 100,000 tau is 12%. And now we can calculate the rewards for all of the stakeholders. So there's a small difference in the way emission works with the addition of the child hotkey. We have a full video on the Tau Stats YouTube channel about child hotkeys, so I suggest you watch that for more details. But this is the general breakdown of the way tau is split up amongst all the participants of the Bittensor network. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to our channel. Every single time there's an update, we will have a video to help you understand what's happening inside Bittensor.